Good morning from Panhandle Outdoors, America's only daily outdoor TV show. Your source for fishing, hunting, and information for folks who enjoy the great outdoors. Now sit back, relax. It's Panhandle Outdoors.
Good morning, folks. Welcome to Panhandle Outdoors. I'm Winston Chester. I'm glad to hear this morning. Got a great show lined up. But first, let's take a look at our weather brought to us by Drew Potter's company, Gulf Coast Air Conditioning. We're looking at a high today, not bad, 66, low 51. Nice day today. The water temperature at the end of the pier is sticking around 59. It's been around 59 about 2 weeks, 58 or 59 for about 2 weeks now. That's a good sign. Our river readings, take a look at the river readings. Finally, the Apalachicola started tapering down. It's reading right now, 13.2. Now that's still high. It is still high at 13 foot. Anytime double digits, it's high. Look at a Choctawhatchee at Kerrville. It's sloping down a little bit, 6.6, and dropping on out there. Tide chart brought to us by Kent Forest Lawn. Today is February the 15th. Good tides today, pretty decent tides the rest of the week. Saturday and Sunday, definitely Sunday, no good tides coming in then. Our winds be coming in out of the east around 10. So that's a look at our weather. You think about the weather this time of year, mid-February, late February, it's going boom, boom, real quick, and the cold fronts come in. So just be aware how it affects the game and fish. It's always just so interesting to me to see the results of the weather, the fronts coming in, and see how things happen before the front and after the front. If you really study it and just take time to look at it, it's interesting. Let's take a break. We'll be right back. Okay, welcome back. Hope you're planning a big day today, doing some outdoor activities and hanging around with some friends and just doing some good things today. I've got some pictures coming up. I felt like I'm sort of in a storytelling mood. I'm going to show the beetle spin right here. Okay, we joked about them for Valentine's Day, and I went and bought some for Gail for Valentine's, but not really. I bought some for my grandson. We always give our grandkids stuff for Valentine's. I just went down and bought 6 beetle spins. Now, I want to show you something on this beetle spin right here. The sizes of see the spinning blade on this one right here? That's one size right there. But look over here, this one. See the smaller size? When Jerry and I were fishing with them, Jerry was actually fishing with a smaller size, but I was catching them on a bigger size. So what do? You go to whoever's catching the fish. I've been on both sides of that fence, so you just try. But you see the different colors and all, and I got an email from one of our viewers, and he wanted to know about it. So this is about what we're catching on this right here on the left, that color right there. And notice they all have blackheads too. And let me tell you a story. I just have such fond memories of the beetle spin when we first started fishing with them. We were young, and my brother, started fishing with them first, and he bought them. And we didn't have these big box stores. We in a little town like Quincy, we had little tackle stores. There were like 3 of them in the area. None now. It was Bill's Bait and Tackle right there sort of on the edge of town, and then it was Harold's Tackle on the south end of town. But my brother bought some, went down to Lake Talquin, and he just caught a lot of fish, and I remember it. So I just had such fond memories of Bill's Bait and Tackle and W.D. Harold's Bait and Tackle right there. They had live minnows in the back, and as a kid growing up, it was just fascinating. That's where I learned my love for the old fishing plugs as a kid, walking in those tackle stores, looking up and seeing that old Zaragoza spook or some old head and lure. And I just thought they were cool, and I still think they're cool. But anyway, that's the story on the beetle spins. And one side note on Gadsden County was always a dry county. Well, at one time it was a dry county, and you couldn't, and the moonshiners were out, out in the country, and you could always get some. We never did stuff like this, but the stories I heard later and at that time. But there's a place or two in town that you could get some bottled liquor in the back of the store, but you had to be careful. That was a lot of times the bait and tackle store would have them. Then sometimes in the woods, if people had like a drink machine around the house, that meant they also had the moonshine there. That's all true stories. I wish I'd documented and interviewed some of those old timers like that. But anyway, let's get back to outdoor stuff. Hope you like these stories. Oh, Tom Gurley. Tom was with us in the early days of Panhandle Outdoors. He's retired now, and here's his, all right, I'm Biscuit, and I'm at the playground at Falling Water State Park. I've also been to Florida Caverns and Blackwater River and San Andreas State Parks. My humans say, we'll go to more state parks when the weather gets warmer. And that's a great idea. And so glad you enjoy them, Biscuit. Tom, I don't know, you got to tell us how you got his name, Biscuit. I got a feeling you were throwing him a biscuit every now and then. And good trip right there. That's right, Jeff and Dominic going on that trip. I thought this goes, the cutlery for my new diet has arrived. I'm optimistic this one will work. Okay, all right, now, Ashley Messer, with Donnie Messer, folks, they've had a good year. That's a 10-point right there. Isn't that a nice buck? This is the last week of hunting season. And don't you love that braided hair? That's a good hunter right there. The Messer family. Now, this was sent to me. This is cool. Cliff Tiller. Okay, his name is Tiller Blue, 8 years old. His first 10-point. His head got so big they were afraid they wouldn't find a hat for it. So look at that big old grin on that face there. Good job, Tiller Blue. Okay. Hey, Coach, this is Brad Johnson. Do you know of any place on the north side of the bay that sells live shrimp? Thanks. Hey, Brad, I sure don't. Wish there was a place I would sure use them. Same here. Last place I knew of was at a Deer Point Dam. Just wondered if something had happened up there that I hadn't heard about. Now, I want to talk about that. Right there at Deer Point Dam, there was a nice bait and tackle store there, and they had live bait, and it did real well. Of course, it got wiped out with the storm and all. I've always thought that would be an ideal place to put what we need to have a little restaurant, ice cream shop, coffee shop, and bait shop all together right there on the east end of Deer Point Dam. You could drink coffee and then go down and fish a little bit. I'm serious, that's a good idea. But anyway, the only place I know to get live shrimp, I think Howell's Tackle has them, and let's see, I don't really know up this way, on the north end up there, but live shrimp is, that's a deadly way to catch fish. They work real well. All right, a couple more pictures. Billy Grantham sent this in up there, the Appalachian Management Area where he works. All good things are wild and free. That's a good perch for that eagle. And I thought this was sort of entertaining. This is out of a newspaper, a big redfish right there, okay? What we call a bull red. But what they call it a red bull in the newspaper, a big red bull. You don't catch any bulls at the jetties, you catch bull reds, okay? I don't know if you ever noticed stuff like that. I thought it was cool. I know it's a ways away. April is 2nd. But go and start planning if you want to put it on your calendar. The Camo Dreams, fishing for a dream, they get helped out really well on the Not So Serious Bass Club. All kind of stuff. We're starting to talk about it. Probably have them come on the show and all a couple of times. All right. Let's see, one more. Our buddy Dan Wells. This was banded in Erie, Pennsylvania on June the 25th, 2021 by the Pennsylvania Game Commission. It's my first banded goose, and he'll make a fine addition to Monday's gumbo plan. So that is see the band. We've talked about it before. That one didn't really last that long, only about a year. Okay, and that's up in Indiana. All right, let's take a break, and we'll be right back. Okay, welcome back. I know we're all affected by prices in the grocery store and gas prices and all. And I ran across this little statement the other day. And you can, if you remember being teenagers, a lot of times just ride around, or ride out to the beach and back. Then somebody put this point right here. These aren't ride around listening to music, gas prices. And I think we can all identify with that. Okay. Mark, the Bayou Bash now, again, I know it's a month or two away, but it's going to be the first weekend of May. And this has been doing a long time, this Bayou Bash down there at Cape San Blas is where they're going to have it at the park there, but it'd be St. Joe Bay. And that's a good one right there. This is cool, Ben McConaughey. Ben played basketball at Mosley and played college basketball in the North Carolina area. Anyway, his son Tanner got him his first deer today. A nice little spot. Big shout out to hunting boss Keith Stetler for the lease invite. I want to read this because it's a team effort and something like this. Big shout out to Nick Murphy, Adam Kay, Margaret Walker Smith, and all these folks, McLaughlin, Travis Smith, Billy Barnes. I know a lot of these boys. And a big shout out to Tricia Lee McConaughey for letting us forget about the honeydew list for a month or two. It's a special season for sure. first of hopefully many more. And here it is right here. That's his first one there. That's cool, that little spike. I sort of wish all young people, if getting into hunting, maybe the first deer they take, maybe it'd be a little spike like that. I was in the woods Friday and Saturday. I spent all day just in the woods, I just all by myself. I had just a wonderful time, and I did have some company. My first, is that a little dragonfly or mosquito? It was still cool. You know how cool it is last week, and but I was inside my little ground blind, and I told him to go on because if he didn't leave, I was going to have to kill him if he bit me. So he left. Kelly Lowry, former quarterback at Florida State under Coach Bobby Bowden. Kelly, this fishing, and there's some nice fish right there. He got shorts on. Okay, that's his mess of fish. I like this background. He got him on a tailgate, got him on the board. He's going to clean them right there by the dog box. Kelly Lowry, original from Lake City, but made his home over here in the Panhandle. Another picture from Tess Randall Jolly. No words needed except, thank you, Lord, for wild turkeys in spring. And this is the happiest time of the year. Alabama gobbler. And that's a great picture there. And it's right around the corner to be gobbling up. Okay, my friend Lester Anderson. We had to go into the jungle to find him. Okay, he and his son got a big hog. He was still alive. Now, folks, this is scary now. Let's just say it was an adventure. 200 pounds. It was dark when he moved. I thought I was going to have Heath, that's his son, Heath's boot prints up my backside. And here's Heath right here. They had to go in the woods and get him. And that's a 200 pound. And I'm telling you, with tusk and all, those things can be scary. They're going to come straight at you. All right, let's see, there's a picture right there. 200 pounds. You might get a bargain if you want some fishing chairs with a minnow bucket on it. That's in the garage sale. Okay. Nick Borthwick, the PE teacher and outdoor education teacher over at South Walton High School. His son, C, call him C, a nice buck. I mean, that's a real nice buck. Here's Nick and the son. And well, I really think a lot of Nick. Two things. I want to talk about Nick. But first of all, look at the background, how the woods are cleared out. This is when you have controlled burns. This is the way the woods originally looked in the Florida Panhandle. I remember my dad talking about this big old, the trees were going to be bigger. They just didn't have the undergrowth. Here they are dragging them out. Again, look how it's cleared up like that. But what I want to mention about Nick was that Nick Borthwick, maybe 7 or 8 years ago, called me up. And he coaches, head baseball coach at South Walton also. And he'd seen me on the show and talking about the outdoor ed program. He called me up. He wanted to know what he could do to get a program in at South Walton. He, like I say, drove over here. We met at Outdoor Ed Barrack, and we sat down and talked and visited, and we had an instant bond. I shared all the things we did. He took it back over to South Walton High School and implemented the program, and I've talked about it before, we've done a good job. But that's the kind of initiative and all it takes to put in something, that extra step you have to take, instead of talking the talk, walking the walk. And I always have admiration for Nick for doing that. And he's a consummate outdoorsman. He's got his family doing a lot of outdoor stuff too. So I just wanted to give him a shout out too. Okay, all right, one more. Let's end up on a fishing picture. How about, this is my buddy Jerry Forehand. I went to the woods, but I probably should have gone fishing with him. And here's what he did. Because we talked about high water, but remember we talked about on Fishing Report, fished Brackish Water Creek yesterday, had a pretty good topwater afternoon. Probably caught at least 20 bass on several different topwater baits, and they wanted it fished slow and tight. And I had someone asked me, text me, wanted how to fish this time of year. Right there, Jerry just said it. Fishing slow, fishing tight, and just slow things down. But again, the little things like having the ability to fish in brackish water, because we talked about the river being too high. We talked about that on the show Friday on the report. I wanted to mention, this is good correspondence here. Danny, okay, here's a guy right here. This is on Florida Panhandle Hunters. I just want to share this with you. Planning on making 3 food plots and building 3 shooting houses. Land has a pond and hardwoods. I want to plant 3 small pots at the shooting house and one big central plot over the summer. Any suggestions on what to plant? This is good. It's good because you're already planning for next year. I'm going to show you, I want to read some of these results. It's sort of like a little forum here. Okay, I really got interested in it. Danny Shores, and Danny's a big outdoorsman. Here's what he recognized: cowpeas, forage, soybeans. And right here it said a good idea. Get your shooting house done and set up as soon as possible to give them time to get used to it. I always like to make new things appear as soon as season goes out for next season. That is such good advice, and that's coming from an outdoorsman that knows what I'm talking about. How about Larry Shores? Peanuts have brought in more deer than anything else I have planted. That's interesting. Peanuts. Tony Young, sorghum, millet, buckwheat. Ain't that some neat ideas? These come from real people, real outdoorsmen. Okay, a couple more. Carl Young, sun hemp, millet, sorghum, and some kind of bean. Sun hemp is high protein and adds nitrogen to your soil, so it will help with your winter food plots. Get shooting houses in as quickly as you can so they have longer to acclimate to them. Again, that's great advice. How about Coda Nelson? For the past 5 years, we've done sun hemp. It gives them the protein and fats to grow during the summer, also a natural fertilizer. And where can you get sun hemp? And let's see, Coda Nelson, let's see. I ordered it off Amazon or any of your local places that sell seed will normally have it. Well, I would encourage you to get it locally if you can, if not, order from Amazon. And then bottom one, clay peas, Adam Stokes says that. So that is just a great overall view about getting ready for next year. And we talk about that all the time, planning ahead and getting your food plots ready. So that's the good stuff right there. I'm not that familiar. I know most of the stuff, the clay peas and sorghum and the millet and all that. We do a lot of that. And the sun hemp, I'm not that, I don't know much about that, so I'm interested to read up on that and find out. Let's take a break. We'll be right back. Okay, welcome back. Let's take a look at the fishing game times today, brought to us by Blue Water Outriggers in Port St. Joe. We're looking at this morning 9:29 to 11:29 at night. 9:54 to 11:54. So that's going to be some exciting times if you get outdoors at that time. Y'all are so good about sending me emails and questions and messages and all kind of stuff. And this is a good question here. Let's check this out because I haven't. I don't know the answer to it, but we'll try to find out. Panhandle Outdoors. This is a new message. So right here. This is from Scott Duke on the episode dated Monday, 12/21/20. Okay. That was 2 years ago. Where you went diver duck hunting with those guys. I'm wondering if the guy that said he had made all his decoys would be willing to teach anyone how he did that. If not, I understand, but I figured I'd check. Great episode, by the way, Scott Duke. So Michael Harris, some of you folks that watch that show, Michael, I think you remember, if you can go sort of touch base with me and give me the name of the guy, we'll connect them. Making your own hand-carved decoys is an American folk art, and it really was done a lot up in the Northeast around Chesapeake Bay. And I studied the wooden handmade decoys for a long time, and I sort of whittled some out. It's labor intensive, and with special little knife and all, but it's a cool thing to do, and a lot of folks did. I'm so glad to see some folks are still doing it, and it became an interesting thing to do. Okay. It's entertaining too. Wanted to mention this. Speaking of old handmade stuff, I mentioned earlier part of the show about the old fishing tackle and all. And this is, I think I've told you, I'm a member of the Florida Antique, Gail and I are members of the Florida Antique Tackle Club, and we get a quarterly magazine. And also, I'm a lifetime member. Okay, and it's cool stuff. I haven't mentioned in early years doing the show. I mentioned a lot about the old tackle and all. I really haven't spent a lot of time on it the last couple of years. We just sort of been, our hands been tied as far as with the pandemic and also the storm messing things up. But we were talking about it, and each year, the last weekend of February, they have the nice show, actually the best show of the year. And I got it right here. Right here. This is the it's called the 31st Annual International Antique Fishing Show. They always have it in Daytona Beach. And we've had the best time. We've gone to a lot of these and just had a cool time. And we were talking about, I think I'm going to try to go back to it probably, but that's just a habit right there on an oceanfront motel. But it's open to anyone. And the coolest part, right there in the center, don't forget our famous Saturday night auction. Now, and then it tells you block rates. That's not bad, because the next week I think is Daytona 500, and they load them up. Anyway, I just want to share one more thing too. Here's sort of what you see. They have awards, the best Florida display. It's just cool stuff. Best Florida display, and then the best 1920. And here's some shows. That's sort of what it is, just old fishing tackle. And this may not be anything you're excited about, but it is open. And the Daytona show, they've had different shows around the southeast, but the Daytona Beach show is always the go-to show. And I want to mention this about the auction. Here's what's going on now. A lot of the old timers, sadly, some of the original members of the club sort of passing away now. And most of the time, the family don't care a hoot about the collection, and they just, so they'll put the whole collection, where these guys spend a lifetime collecting, they'll auction them off. And you're talking about getting some quality stuff. It's an auction, and it's just cool. It's really, so we partake in it. Most of the time I get outbid. There's some high rollers there sometimes, but sometimes you find that little niche of stuff. So anyway, that's just the Florida Antique Tackle Club. I have a lot more stuff to go over. I've done about half my show, which is good. I enjoy spending a little bit of time and trying to explain things to you, so you'll understand them. Okay, I'm used to explaining them to teenagers. All right, y'all have a great day today. We're gonna wrap it up. We got some special guests tomorrow. You're gonna love these ladies coming in on tracking dogs. Okay, you have a great day. Do something good for your fellow man. Enjoy the beautiful outdoors, and God bless.
Thanks for watching America's only daily outdoor TV show, Panhandle Outdoors with Winston Chester, featuring hunting, fishing, and other activities and information to help you enjoy the great outdoors. Join us next time for Panhandle Outdoors.